What's up, everybody? Doc Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, let me talk to the Sony fans. The Sony fans that have common sense. It's time for you to grab your ponies and put them in the freaking barn or whatever. Just for like a week. Just for like a week. Hit them with a tranquilizer or something. Like this is getting ridiculous. I made a few videos this last week that for whatever reason people weren't fully understanding. Now, one of them I was being sarcastic, and I guess the sarcasm didn't come through. And that was the Last of Us video where I was saying how it was Sony's dumbest idea to make The Last of Us 60 frames per second. Now, obviously, if you've been following me, you know I was being sarcastic. You know I think it's a great idea for any game to run at 60 frames over 30. But the reason I said that is because Sony ponies have been arguing with us for the longest that you don't buy a next gen system to play old games. But now that The Last of Us got boosted, all of a sudden everybody's excited. So then, this is how pathetic the Sony ponies are. They were like, The Last of Us is not an old game. It's only 9 months old or whatever it is. So I said, okay, bet, I'll fall back. So then maybe the statement should be, since you want to get so technical, you don't buy a next gen system to play last gen games. Or do you? So you bought a next gen system to play last gen games, or is The Last of Us not a last generation game? It is a last generation game. Point blank, period, right? So then I had comments in the same comment section. But again, I was being sarcastic. I actually think it's a good idea because people were coming on the comments like, oh, but when Xbox does it, it's okay. Like, do you not understand? Oh my God, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Anyways, and then I got people saying, oh, but when Xbox did it, they were doing it to games that were 3 and 5 years old. They were boosting the resolution and FPS on games that were 3 and 5 years old. My answer to that, Demon Souls. So that's an old game that they remastered and resold you. You wouldn't have preferred for Sony to grab that old game, boost the resolution to 4K, and boost the FPS to 60 and you've played it? No. The remastered version with the graphics was way better and worth the purchase, right? So many games on the Xbox Series X that have been boosted in resolution and FPS that I would be pissed if they decided to resell to me as a remastered. Like, no, the game is perfect. Boost the resolution, boost the FPS. Now I get to play it. So again, don't come at me with that, right? So that was the one video that people didn't understand. Thought that I was actually attacking Sony for making that game. All I was saying is Sony was stupid because you guys said you guys don't play old games. But okay, The Last of Us is not an old game. My bad. I should have said a last generation game. There you go. I'll give you that. Okay, fine. Then I make the video about Biomutant, and I try to come on here and I try not to be toxic. And all I'm telling you, Sony ponies, is that that's not your fight. The resolution and performance thing is not your fight. You guys have been arguing from the beginning that it's about games. It's not about performance. It's about games. So if you bought a PS5, you bought the PS5 for the games and the exclusives. You didn't buy the PS5 because it had the more teraflops. You know it didn't. You didn't buy the PS5 because you thought it was going to be the most powerful console. I don't care who you are. No one bought a PS5 and started bragging that it would be more powerful than the Xbox Series X. Highly unlikely. Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. On the contrary, a lot of Xbox Series X people bought it believing that it would be more powerful than the PS5. And that's why, let's be honest, no cap, that's why when games were running better on the PS5, we were kind of like, oh, snap. And a lot of people try to deny it. They're like, well, no, it's the developer's fault. So Xbox were also blaming developers as well. So we can't get mad at Sony ponies for blaming developers when we were doing the same thing. It's the Yakuza. Oh my God, we attacked the developers saying that they didn't know what they were doing because on the S it ran like trash, right? But here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal. That was never your argument, Sony fans. I was trying to let you know that during Biomutant video that it didn't matter. And then I had people on that Biomutant video coming to me telling me, did you not know that it was a backwards compatible game? That's the last gen game. That's why it's running better. It doesn't matter. It's running better on the X. It doesn't matter if it's a last gen game or not. It's running better on the X. But then this is where you guys do not want this argument. I'm warning you right now, Sony ponies. You do not want to argue performance right now. Because here's the deal. And I don't want to hear anything else after this, okay? Yes, We have no games. I give you that. Go ahead, write it in the comments. Hey, have no games. Got it. We have no games. Okay. What else they always say? We have no games. We rent games. Yes, we rent games. We're playing old games. Yes, we're playing old games. But here's the deal. Even though there's a few games that run better on the PS5 or that came out and have ran better on the PS5, okay? The difference between how much better they ran on the PS5 versus how much better they ran on the Xbox Series X was still minimal, right? That's not the case when it's the other way around. When a game runs better on the Xbox Series X, it's destroying the PS5. And before you get mad and you don't believe me, all I gotta say is Mass Effect 120 frames. 120 frames. Mass Effect. Why is the PS5 not doing that? I don't care why it's not doing it. I'm not a developer. I don't care. I'm a gamer. I just want a game at the best experience possible. And right now, if you own a console, man, we can argue with PC too, unless you got a really powerful PC. And that's the thing. That's a misconception. You guys believe that all PC gamers have the best PC in the world. You think that every single PC gamer has the most powerful PC. There's people with Xbox Series X that have better hardware than PC gamers. Point blank, period. Okay? So, let me say this again to you. If I want to experience Mass Effect the Legendary Edition the best possible way possible, unless I have a high-end graphics card, the Xbox Series X is it. It's not the PS5. And that's double the performance. So whatever game you want to point out where the PS5 is running the game better than the Xbox Series X by like a few frames, maybe even 10 frames. Maybe there's a game that the PS5 runs 10 frames better. There's no game on the PS5 that runs 60 frames better than on the Xbox Series X. Not one. Not one, Sony Ponies. So shut your mouth. That's not your argument. Performance is not your argument. Playing Returnal at 1080p upscaled is still good. Have fun with your... I'm glad that you can feel the rain on the controller. That's awesome. I'm glad that when the subtitles come, if you don't want to read the subtitles, you can read them in Braille on the controller. That's awesome. You do that. But when it comes to the performance and playing the game as smooth as possible and playing the game at 4K, that's our... almost cursed. That's our stuff. Not you. Not you. So stop it. When Biomutant comes out with the new PS5 version, then finally you'll be able to play it at 4K. We don't have to wait. We're already playing it at 4K. That's our stuff. We've been talking about power all the time. Finally, it looks like we're getting the tools. It looks like we're going to Home Depot and getting these tools. Why are you mad? This is not your argument. Keep sticking to games. We have no games. I'll give you that. We have no games. Hey, Xbox, just give it to them. They're not going to listen. They're not going to listen. They don't count the Medium. They don't count Falconeer. They don't count their own game, MLB The Show. They don't count any game that drops on Game Pass. They don't count it. They don't count. The only games they're going to look at is Halo Infinite. That's it. So they don't count any single games that come out. And third-party games that run better, they don't even count either. So Xbox, just give it to them. Don't even argue with the Sony Ponies. Sony fans, go grab your little freaking ponies and tell them just for a week, tranquilize them. Hit them with the tranquilizer. This is ridiculous. Don't argue about performance. That's not your argument. SSD, sure, whatever. Like, that's another thing, man. People were bragging about how fast Resident Evil Village loaded on the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X. Like, that's something to brag about. Does Warzone even run 120 frames right now on the PS5? Doesn't the Xbox Series S run Warzone at 120 frames? You guys got exclusive games. You got your Returnal. What else they got? You got your remastered Demon Souls. You got your Miles Morales that you can still play on the PS4. I'll still give it to you. You're going to get Ratchet and Clank that's coming out. What more do you want? You can feel raindrops on your controller. What more do you want? Just leave us alone. The power narrative has been ours since the beginning. And when y'all were winning it, that's cool. Y'all were winning it and people were like the tools and laughing and RDNA tool and developing. Everybody was laughing, having a good time. But at the end of the day, if you're going to talk about power, you don't want this argument. And it's probably only going to get worse. So just shh. Doc Dog 1985, there's levels to this. And when you trying to pick an argument that's really not your battle, there's levels to that too. We out. Peace.